Hello, this is the alien Wicked, and this is.
The Ducky Gwen.
And today we are going to talk about B-52s. The
As in the
B-52.
band.
Yes, not the airplane. I don't like airplanes, they drive me nuts. But the band drives me nuts in a good way. My favorite song is Rock Lobster.
Rock Lobster is a good one. Yes, I really like that one.
Yes,
And shadooba ooh, shadooba always get to me every time.
yes, it does. Yes, it does. And there's that Love Shack one as well. So, do you want to tell us about the history of the band and stuff?
Why, yes. The B-52s formed in the late 1970s, specifically speaking 1976. From what I understand, their band name is derivative of the girls' hairstyles that were reminiscent of those hairstyles from the 1960s. You know, those beehive haircuts. Not from the plane as I thought.
Oh, it was from the Beehive haircut. Oh, I didn't know that.
And now you do! As I was saying, the band's initial lineup consisted of the two girls from earlier, Kate Pearson, Cindy Wilson, Fred Schneider, Ricky Wilson, Cindy's brother, may he RIP, and Keith Strickland. They released their self-titled debut album in 1979, consisting of the earlier mentioned single Rock Lobster.
Yes.
Another one being Planet Claire, which I already love to death. I have literally only just watched the music video for it today, and the video is very trippy, let me tell you. Up until this point, I've only really listened to and watched their more popular stuff, courtesy of what's now known as MTV Classic when I was growing up.
1979. So, this has Psychobilly in it.
Yes, I guess you could say that.
That's good, because I like Psychobilly.
I mean, it does make sense come to think of it, considering that they do give off campy sci fi vibes, as well as a teeny bit of macabre imagery, which I really like too.
And while we're on the topic of psychobilly bands, I will mention a couple of them that I like as well. The Creep Show, they do more horror psychobilly, but they're pretty good. As well as the Horror Pops, and I think Brains was one of them as well. They're I like that's how I got into psychobilly, was a punk, horror punk.
Cool. Very nice.
Yep. So we got Creep Show. They're very good. Oh, they came out with Blood, 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 a different thing. An album in 2017 is Blood, 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 or Death at My Door. Also, there is the Horror Pops. And then there's the Brains, as I mentioned. Yep. Coffin Cats were pretty good. As well as they might kitty in a casket. I'm gonna try them tonight, so I'll message you in the morning about that.
Okay.
Let's see, the Brains, Necromantics. That sounds interesting. That's another kind of psychobilly type thing. And that looks like that's about the only good ones that are there. Demented, Are We Go. Looks interesting. Uh, they might talk about some spooky stuff, but they are psychobilly.
Yes, of course. They sound awesome.
Thank you. And then there's the 5, 6, 7, 8s that are pretty good.
Okay, so back to the B-52s. Three members of the band, that is Fred Schneider, Kate Pearson, and Cindy Wilson, do both vocals and percussion. Keith Strickland, and Ricky Wilson played keyboards. Keith Strickland and Ricky Wilson played backing vocals. Keith played drums, and then Keith and Ricky played guitar.
Oh, interesting. Cindy Wilson played percussion. I have my steel tongue drum.
Oh, cool! Then let's not forget about Pat Irwin, who played keyboards and guitars from 1989 up till 2007. Zach Alford on drums on and off from 1990 to 1992 and 2000 2007. So, two terms in the band. And then they ended up getting a bassist in 1989, again, on and off period of 1989, 1992, and 1998 and 2002. So, yeah. And of course, you could see more information about the band's lineup right here. Now, for many years, the band had an apostrophe in their name, but they have removed it some time ago.
Oh, interesting.
In their defense, it was because it was grammatically incorrect.
Oh, yeah. Those grammar Nazis, I tell ya. You know, those people?
Yeah, grammar Nazis. They ruin everything.
Yeah, they do. They ruin everything. Anyways, continue.
I just want to make a bit of a correction real quick. The music
Yep.
video that I referred to as being that of Planet Claire is not the video for Planet Claire, rather the video for The Girl from Ipanema Goes to Greenland, a single off of their Bouncing Off the Satellites album. So I
Oh,
apologize in advance for that. Anyway, Wicked, would you like to tell us about the tracks Private Idaho and Give Me Back My Man from Wild
I
Planet?
haven't listened to those yet, but will be. Sorry.
No worries.
I was still hooked on Rock Lobster still. So tell me about those songs if you wish.
Anyway, Private Idaho is one of my favorite tracks off of Wild Planet. I thought it was really good. The hook that goes to the bridge, it sticks with me.
Yes?
I even thought of making an original song with that hook. It's that
Oh,
catchy.
so it's that catchy, eh?
Yes, you know. And then it goes to my own private Idaho. And then there's Give Me Back My Man.
Oh, that sounds good. I must listen to them.
You've never listened to Give Me Back My Man as of yet?
Man, not yet. No, I haven't. I will, certainly. And the Private Idaho.
Private Idaho too, girl? You never listened to that one?
I no, I only know Love Shack and Love and Rock Lobster thus far. I'm just getting used to the other tracks.
Oh. So basically, you are new to the B-52s fandom.
Actually, I've heard their stuff before, but I just couldn't put song to name until I heard Rock Lobster, and that's what hooked me.
Ah, it makes sense. I didn't even know that Private Idaho was by the B-52s until, I believe, just recently.
That's right. I didn't know the same thing with Love Shack until they ended up putting it on their album. And I was like, that's where that song came from. I used to hear it from The Simpsons, The Love Shack, which
Is a
was
little
very
nice
interesting.
place where, yeah. You know, Give Me Back My Man kind of discusses a boy being stolen from a girl, but in a space operatic fashion.
Oh, really? Interesting.
Just my
I
guess, really, but that's what I'm gonna assume it is until either one of the girls or the boys speak out about the meaning behind the song. But then again, any song is open to interpretation.
mhm.
I'm gonna
Any
assume
song
that Private Idaho refers to a place that at least one of the members consider as the state of Idaho, if you will. Wonder what about Idaho makes it so that they sing a song about having their own private Idaho. I really want to know.
that'd be interesting.
Yes. So anyway, we're gonna move on to the topic of the Mesopotamia EP. Basically, there were a lot of problems associated with the recording of this album. In case you are
Oh,
wondering, it was supposed to be a full length album produced by David Byrne of the Talking Heads fame. There were a lot of problems associated with it, but the one problem that stood out to me was in regards to their then manager, Gary Kurfirst, who worked with bands like the Ramones, the Talking Heads, Blondie,
I've
the Eurythmics,
oh, I love Blondie and the Eurythmics.
and Bob Marley, to name a few.
Mm.
The Bob Marley one is ironic for a reason that I'll get to in a second. So here's how the story went in regards to Mr. Gary Kurfirst. So apparently, he discouraged the B-52s from appealing to African American audiences.
Oh, for fuck's sake, that's bad.
Oh yeah, but it gets even worse. Yeah, Kate Pearson reportedly got into a verbal altercation with Kurfirst when he basically talked him out of accepting an invitation to a New York African American radio station on
He
the
verbally.
grounds that their music will be confusing to that audience. Now, when I read that passage, I was like, what the man? For real.
Who
That's
is
just
just
downright
DNA? I don't give
stupid.
a shit. It's stupid. It's just DNA. Everyone should listen to the same damn thing if they want.
So, basically, TLDR, Gary Kurfirst was a racist.
Oh, he sounds like
Which
a
is,
real freak.
yeah, which is very ironic considering what I mentioned earlier about him working with Bob Marley.
Yes, maybe he was stupid and colorblind as well.
Well, I wouldn't agree with the colorblind part, but I digress. Basically, Bob
They're stu-
Marley, however, was Jamaican, not African American. Though he is black, he's a
Yeah.
Jamaican. Yeah,
Yes, I know that. I just see humans when I walk down the street. The color just adds to the character.
right. Though joke ended up being on Gary Kurfirst. He died in 2009 while vacationing in the Bahamas.
Uh-oh, I wonder why.
Who knows, maybe an unhealthy lifestyle caught up to him and the payback from what he did to the B-52s and screwing them out of two
A bigger
opportunities that would have
audience.
benefited them. Because it was sad because the B-52s actually love soul music, and Kate Pearson, from what I understand, wanted to accept that invitation to that African American radio station, and for that guy to screw them out of that, just
Oh,
absolutely scummy and horrible. It
fucker,
really
that is
is.
really are.
Yeah, really
They,
R-worded indeed.
yeah, really R worded. That guy's the epitome of the R word, not racist. The other R word, because he's
That's
really
right.
stupid on that part. Because he's like, why should who the damn gives a shit about DNA just as long as someone likes the music? I like the B-52s. I'm part Arab and Asian. a wide selection of DNA there, as well as white, European, I think would be the technical term. And that being said, I still listen to the B-52s, and I still like their music. I don't give a rat's ass about what's in my spit, what color my skin is, just as long as I can get a tattoo, I'm happy, and I can listen to the B-52s.
Yeah, any audience is good audience for a
Yes,
band, regardless of what skin color you have, where you're from. Where you're
just as,
from and your skin color don't matter in a music taste. If
that's right.
only Gary Kurfirst here got his head out of his ass, before becoming a
Yeah,
manager.
he should have got his head out of that smelly DNA ass.
I mean, man, it was the 1980s and people still had that attitude. Yeah, good to know. Good to know, man.
That's
Good to know, man.
that's ridiculous. There's still people that are like that today that are really racist, and it's like, really? One, really? That's Spanish for oh my god, and it's like, really? You're really that racist?
Uh huh. Like, well, this wouldn't be the first time that type of attitude infiltrated the music scene. This type
Oh,
of attitude dates back to the popularity of Elvis Presley. I
oh
mean,
really?
yeah, yeah. Elvis Presley, the king of
Yeah,
rock and roll. Though
yeah.
technically Chuck Berry had that title before him, but as we all
Oh,
know, Chuck Berry had a pretty problematic past in of itself, but we're not going to get into it in this video. But
okay.
basically, there was a lot of baggage on this guy, a lot of dirt on him.
Oh,
That's
really?
all you need to know for now. Anyway, before I go off on a tangent, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
before we both go on a
The,
tangent.
the Mesopotamia EP was supposed to be a full length album of 10 songs, but ultimately, due to problems with David Byrne himself, for I don't know what reason, where I read it up and didn't specify fully, it only went down to 6 songs, making it an EP.
Yep,
Yeah.
I
Okay.
know that
Yeah.
from, you have to have 7 tracks to make an album or more.
Right. That
They're
we do
missing
know.
another song. I use them using they say EP 6 songs, 7 songs or more album.
Right. Exactly. Excuse me.
That's okay. I
Alrighty.
usually try to make an even 10.
10. An album can
Yep.
even go beyond 10 songs.
Yes, they can sometimes.
And if they can't fit every single song into an album, that's why there's such a thing as 2 or more disc albums.
Yes, I've heard of those. I've seen those before. Those are pretty cool.
Yeah,
So
they are.
what the heck else happened here in this story?
I'm not going to get too much more into it, so we're going to be moving on to the next album, Whammy.
Amy?
Whammy, yup.
That's a funny
Four
album.
songs off of that album are Lingle Tender, Whammy Kiss, Song for a Future Generation, and a cover of a song originally by the widow of John Lennon, Yoko Ono, Don't Worry.
Don't worry. Oh, that sounds interesting.
Right. I want to touch up on Song for a Future Generation mostly because this is the music video where we basically get to know more about the band members. And I've learned from watching this video that both Cindy and Ricky were Pisces.
Oh, they must have been born on the same day or same month at least.
Or another month that is within the Pisces sphere of the horoscope.
Yep, I have a North Node in Pisces.
Right. Ironically, I am a Libra.
Well, let's save that for another time. Anyway,
Right.
so what was interesting about this album other than the Future
Well,
Generation?
well, what's really notable about this album is that it is the first album using a drum machine, as their drummer Keith Strickland no longer wanted to do any drums. So the band ended up using a drum machine for a change. And what's
Yeah.
also the most notable of them all is the fact that this will be Ricky Wilson's last album with them alive.
Oh,
Yeah. So, which leads to bouncing off the satellites. And
sounds interesting.
before we get to bouncing off the satellites, let me just say that, not gonna lie, this part is pretty emotional.
That trigger
You know,
you?
as I mentioned earlier, Whammy is the last album featuring Ricky Wilson. Ricky Wilson was diagnosed as HIV positive, and within the next 2 years after that, his health worsened. And wanting to protect his sister and the rest of the bandmates from the stigma, he did not tell anybody about it for years. But then in 1985, Ricky would succumb to the disease.
AIDS.
Yeah, that's right, AIDS. AIDS is really a bastard of an illness, I tell ya.
Yes, it is. It can cause cancers. It can cause a lot immune shutdown. You can die from a cold. A cold for crying out loud.
Yep, that's
Or
what
an
AIDS can do
infection.
to you, folks.
Yep.
And get this, it doesn't help that this was in the midst of the AIDS epidemic. Believe it or not, Rock Hudson, the actor, died the same year that Ricky Wilson did, from the same disease, of all things.
Oh my God, what a disease.
He has, it has since been revealed that Rock Hudson was gay.
Gay as well?
Yup.
Oh, for crying out loud, I'm wondering if that was a man-made illness now, if someone was trying to get the trying to wipe a couple of different people.
Right. Ricky
It's kind
Wilson was also reported to be gay as well.
I'm
So yeah, it makes it all the more
LGBTQ.
tragic.
I'm more LGBTQ. I'm not gay, I just am LGBTQ. Uh, well, let's just say I'm pan and bisexual, and I also like, and I'm a little bit on the gender queer female side. So that being said, I am LGBTQ, but I never had a interesting blood problem like AIDS or anything. That's pretty sad that they would say it's the LGBTQ people that are causing it. I think it must have been someone who hated LGBT and black people who started AIDS and then
Oh,
spread
Lord
it.
have mercy. There was one that is the most unknown. This was before the whole patient zero thing, and it was none more than a teenage kid.
Oh, really?
Yep.
From where?
And he was not LGBTQ that we know of.
Okay,
Still
so
sad
maybe.
nonetheless. Still sad nonetheless that the AIDS epidemic had to happen because of all this BS and partial misinformation.
Yeah, this misinformation is R worded, in my opinion, just to say the abbreviation. Ridiculous that they would say, oh, the misinformation is ridiculous these days. Okay, and yeah, I don't like misinformation. Then they end up getting conspiracy theorists and stuff.
It is no wonder why Ricky had to keep his disease a secret from practically everybody, including those he was closest to. It's because of things like this, you know?
Ignorance.
Right. Either they don't know or they don't care. Mostly it's on the don't care spectrum. So we're going to move on to a more happier note. So, bouncing off the satellites, I've listened to all three songs for the past couple of days. First, the obvious Girl from Ipanema Goes to Greenland, Summer of Love, and just shortly before filming this podcast, Wig. Now, what
Wig?
struck me as fascinating about Girl from Ipanema Goes to Greenland, it's basically an unofficial sequel to that of the original song Girl from Ipanema by the late great Astro Gilberto.
Oh, that sounds interesting.
So basically, it's a really, really nice take on a classic. Like a more cosmic take on a classic. And the music video for it was absolutely bonkers and trippy at the same time.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, this was the music video that I confused for that of Planet Claire. Planet Claire, that we know of, has no official music video. So again, sorry for the confusion, everyone.
Yeah, and we're sorry about the confusion, folks. It
Well,
happens to the rest of us.
yes, indeed, it happens to the better of us. We're only human. We're
Yep.
only human.
Only human. Sorry.
It's
Nation.
okay, girl. Yep.
Okay. I usually sing better than that.
On. So, Bouncing Off the Satellites will be their last album before they go on a 3-year hiatus as a means to recover from the death of Ricky Wilson. You know what strikes what strikes me about this what struck me about this band is their close-knit relationship. The fact that they were that affected by the death of a band member such as Ricky just proves how strong their bond really is.
Yes. It's true.
So much so, like, they were basically like family to each other. And to be fair, both Cindy and Ricky, they were brother and sister. So that
Cool.
also played a major role in why they chose to take a break for that long period of a time. Up until
Interesting.
Cosmic Thing. Cosmic Thing would be considered their comeback album, and quite frankly, their most popular album too.
Hmm.
Of course, the songs from it are Channel Z, Cosmic Thing, Love Shack, Rome, and Deadbeat Club. These, by the way, are the gateway songs in terms of the B-52s. One of the gateway songs for me happened to be Love Shack.
Yes, that's the first one I ever heard before Buck Lobster.
First time I heard Love Shack, I believe it was on a radio in my mom's car, but then it transferred to seeing bits and pieces of the music video on one of the countdown shows I used to watch on the channel now known as MTV Classic.
Interesting.
And there were other songs from that album as well that I saw the music video for on that channel, but never Channel Z or the title track.
Oh,
Those are the only
really?
two that I never saw on TV even once. You would have had to go to YouTube for these two. And yet Love Shack Rome and Deadbeat Club were on rotation, even in repeats on channels then known as VH1 Classic, now known as MTV Classic. So that is just a bit odd, but I guess channels and Cosmic Thing weren't popular enough for mainstream TV. I don't understand. Especially
I don't
since these are two tracks that came
understand.
from their most popular album. And I didn't know about them until just recently. Like, bro,
Yeah.
it's kind of weird.
Yeah, that is weird. Some people are weird.
Yes, my most favorite track of them all would be Rome. I thought Rome was a very great song. You know, Rome if you want to, roam around the world.
Oh, interesting. I might listen to that too.
Yes, I used to hear that song quite a lot on radio, and I used to really enjoy it. It was the most enjoyable out of all the tracks. Second most enjoyable has to be Deadbeat Club. Deadbeat Club basically discusses their origins. You know,
Yeah.
covering their formation in 1976 and discussing their close bond with one another, which is the aforementioned bond we discussed earlier in regards to their handling of Ricky Wilson's death.
Yep.
And already I forget where they formed.
Hello, just wanted to make a quick insert here. The formation took place at a Chinese restaurant where the band had drinks prior to performing at a friend's house. This is according to their official website.
Other than the fact that they formed in Athens, Georgia, also the home of REM,
Oh,
Michael
really?
Stipe, absolutely, he absolutely looks like a Greek god, if you will. He was
Yeah.
very tall, had that curly blonde hair and those blue eyes and
Yes.
those chiseled features. Man, dude, when I got obsessed with REM, I was mostly enamored with Michael. Holy crap, he was hot. Like, bruh, how is this even possible? How is this even allowed? And REM are popular for songs like Radio Free Europe, Pretty
Really?
Persuasion, and most importantly, The End of the World as We Know It.
As in, it's the end of the world as we know it.
That's
Like that?
correct. Yes, that one. That one. That song is all the more true to this day. Yep.
To
The world
this
is ending
day,
as we
why
know
you
it
say that?
because of the powerful lyrical themes associated with that song. How it talks about the end of the world as we know it and that we feel fine.
Yeah. I thought
Basically,
that was Bare Naked Ladies at first that sang that.
uh, nope, it all started with REM, man. It all started with REM.
Oh, cool.
Yes.
I like REM. I also like Radiohead. I don't know where they. I know they're from the States, I believe, but I don't
Radiohead are
know.
British.
Oh, really? British? I didn't know
Yes,
that.
Tom York is an Englishman.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Yeah, there are other songs too from REM, like Losing My Religion off of their album Out of Time. And in one of the songs from Out of Time, Kate Pearson is featured in a song called Shiny Happy People.
I'm
One of
happy.
REM's most popular songs. Ironically, that song, the lyrics specifically are depressing, but the music is very happy. It's kind of like, I'm fine, I'm fine. No, I'm not. Kind of like one of these things, yet you dance to it. There's plenty of other songs out there
like
that are like, I'm fine, no, I'm not. That
like
type of
David
vibe.
Daria's song La 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 La.
Yes,
Sorry,
that.
it's gloomy, but it makes it sound happy.
Yes. In a way, music can make depressing lyrics seem all the more happier, even though they are actually not. That's
Yeah,
the thing with music. It makes you feel something, and yet without ever stressing you out as if a person yells at you. You know,
that's
it talks
right.
with you in a way that you can understand and relate.
Yes, it can help you a lot better than you son of a bitch. You did this and now I'm angry.
Oh no, what happened?
No, I'm just saying that's just an example.
Oh, yes. One of the examples too. Alright, so moving on, we're now gonna cover songs from Good Stuff. And the most important one that struck out to me is Tell It Like It It Is. I'm not gonna lie, I thought that title was pretty funny. Cause just the way the ending of the title is. I honestly laughed my ass off just reading that.
Yes,
And I actually did get to hear it along with some of the other stuff from Good Stuff. Well, Good Stuff and Is That What You Modine are pretty good, but yeah, in a way, Tell It Like It Is stood out to me the most. Most as one of the songs on there that have the most unique titles.
oh,
And
interesting.
funny too.
Okay, tell it as it is.
More like Tell It Like It's. It is.
It, it
It is.
is. Oh, I get
Yeah.
it now.
Yeah, as someone with a minor speech impediment myself, the title made me laugh my ass off so hard upon viewing it. Like, like,
So
holy moly.
this, oh, that's interesting.
Yes, interesting indeed. Alrighty. Now we're gonna get to the last album, which is Funplex. And there are two singles off that album called Funplex, the title track, and then Juliet of the Spirits. I've only ever heard the title track, but not Juliet of the Spirits.
Okay, I was gonna say, what was that song like?
Yeah, Funplex is an absolutely catchy song. The video for it is what really made me. The video of it was what basically introduced me to that song. So the video is set in an 80s style mall, and
Oh,
the
interesting.
band performs in said mall. And then there was that part in the music video where Fred Schneider sings the line, "Private property, you hippie, be quiet. Your peace sign T-shirt could cause a riot." The cashier ladies would individually say, "What? What lady? That lady?" And then everybody goes, "No." That's that's a pretty cool.
Yes,
That
it
was
is.
really pretty cool. And then the police are beating on that hippie with that peace sign T-shirt in the video. I thought that was just comical.
That done.
Yep.
Person.
As for Juliet of the Spirits, I have yet to listen to that one.
Okay.
And then, as everyone may know, the B-52s are on their final tour. They're going to be retiring next year. So, if you're a fan of the B-52s and you want to go to any of their final shows, please get your tickets now while you still can, because after 2024, they're going to be retired and they will no longer be together as a band, which is quite sad,
Yeah.
but it is a reality.
Yeah, so get your asses in gear if you want to see them.
Yes, yes.
Mm-hmm.
And that is all for the song recap of the B-52s. Please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to this channel if you like this video. Most
And hit
importantly,
that button.
don't forget to tell your loved ones that you love them, because you just never know when they're going to go away forever. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So cherish them as long as possible. Don't forget to tell your friends and your family Merry Christmas or Happy Holidays if you so prefer.
Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays.
And we will see you after Christmas.
Certainly.
So you guys enjoy your holidays, and we will see you next time. Thank you so
See
much
you.
for watching.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Shukran. Bye.